Now at 9, the Carl Junction City Council looks to hire an outside law firm to assist in an ethics violation investigation. Plus, cleanup and community strength after powerful storms hit the 4 states. Families share how they're moving forward.
Millions of people in Missouri and Kentucky once again bracing for severe weather. I'm Garrett Tenney in London, Kentucky, with more on the latest storm system coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Carl Junction City Council discusses limiting their mayor's abilities after one council member files an ethics violation complaint. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The newly elected mayor of Carl Junction is already finding himself in hot water. Mike Moss took office in April of this year, and tonight council members discussed a complaint submitted by council member James Shanks alleging Mayor Moss repeatedly refers to female employees as, quote, Steve's harem. That's in reference to city administrator Steve Laver. In the complaint, Shanks says the comments were made both before and after Moss was elected.
I can only hope that you guys do not take these comments or the disrespect towards these women and the employees of our city lightly. In doing so, I can only hope that you see that this is not just a one-time thing, but a continuous issue, and that you take the next step in the right direction for the sake of our community.
The council did not take any votes or make any decisions tonight. They are, however, in the process of finding a law firm to assist in the ethics investigation. Well, Joplin schools kick off the start of multiple expansion projects in elementary schools across the district. Royal Heights Elementary hosted a ceremony for one groundbreaking. Updates and additions to the school will include additions to the kindergarten, library renovations, updates to the cafeteria, and classrooms for art and music. The projects were approved by the Board of Education earlier this year.
You know, we had several schools that were rebuilt after the tornado to new standards, and some of our other schools that have been around for quite some time need an upgrade when it comes to the facility standards that we've built on recently.
Groundbreakings for additions and updates at Jefferson Elementary and McKinley Elementary also took place this morning. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. Much calmer than what we had on Monday. Now, kind of chilly, a little cool for this time of the year. Average high is about 80, but we have some chilly nights ahead. Of course, it's May. We have more thunderstorms scattered for us Wednesday night into Thursday morning. 70s stick around all week, but we do have a severe threat, which is going to return for this weekend. Of course, this weekend is a holiday weekend. First off, let's look at those scattered thunderstorms. So we're going to move into Wednesday evening. Hit and miss, not extremely widespread, but the ones that do pop up could be strong to low grade severe. If they were severe, it would be a main threat of hail. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Pretty much clear skies for us tonight. Temperatures slide back into lower 50s, so kind of chilly. We'll look at that weekend severe threat here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, chainsaws and cleanup crews were in action today as communities around the 4 states deal with uprooted trees and downed limbs from yesterday's storms. And some of the worst damage appears to be in Columbus, Kansas. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, dealing with the damage could take weeks, even months.
I was in the front room, and it was looking stormy out, and then I saw the wind suddenly just came up really strong.
Linda and Wesley Crust are foster parents in Columbus. When the wind started picking up, Wesley went outside to check on things.
He came in, I saw the shadow from the tree falling, and we grabbed everything, ran to the basement.
Columbus resident Sandy Stanley says she was watching TV when she heard a sound.
It didn't sound like a tree falling, believe me, I had no idea until I opened this door and seen what had happened.
That tree missed Stanley's house for the most part, but for the Crust family, they have quite a bit to get through.
It took out our front porch, we knew that right away. It knocked the house off the foundation about an inch. So everything inside, there's cracks all into the walls and everything on the inside. Our floors are bouncy now, they were very solid before.
Ann Crust's large family of 12 are working long hours to get things back in order.
It was about dark whenever we finally got the driveway cleared enough because we were still under the, severe weather, so we wanted them to be able to get in and out.
A lot of families across the 4 states still have plenty of work ahead, but no one was hurt. And for that, both Chris and Stanley consider themselves
Very blessed.
Reporting in Columbus, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Well, Cress says one of the difficult things was determining which trees are her responsibility and which aren't, depending on how they fall. For Joplin residents who've experienced broken and down tree limbs from the storms, the city is once again providing its free limb drop-off site. Residents can bring their tree limbs to 1702 North Schifferdecker Avenue. The service will run daily through Saturday from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Only tree limbs will be accepted, though. The city also wants to remind residents that residential trash service also allows yard waste removal on regular trash pickup days. You can find more information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Individuals come forward after the Cherokee County Sheriff asked for information regarding a paint war on Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge is a popular attraction on Route 66 and had recently been restored. The vandalism happened last Friday. According to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, 3 adults and 2 juveniles were spotted throwing paint on each other on video. And the Sheriff's Office says those involved have since come forward, and there are currently plans in place to remove the unwanted paint. Coming up, Trump's big, beautiful bill.
President Trump made a visit to Capitol Hill to push Republicans to get in line behind his big, beautiful budget bill, but some are still holding out for a possible vote later this week. In New York, I'll have the details.
But up first, veterinary experts say it's critical to exercise your pets, but to be mindful of health risks when doing so in warmer weather. With this summer expected to sizzle, what pet owners should keep in mind to keep man's best friend safe and sound.
Sign up to win O'Reilly Outlaw National.
Antibiotics are not effective in treating mild cases of COVID. A study published in JAMA found for patients with non-severe COVID, there was no difference in improvement for those who took antibiotics versus those who did not. The study recommends doctors not overprescribe antibiotics because it can lead to antibiotic-resistant infections. With Memorial Day right around the corner, grills, pools, and more preparing for their time to shine. But all the fun in the sun can come with health risk for man and man's best friend. As Gary Baumgarten reports, veterinarians are revealing how pet owners can keep their dogs safe this summer.
Temperatures continue creeping up as the unofficial start of summer quickly approaches. But it's not just people bracing for the sizzle. With veterinary experts issuing big warnings for pet owners heading into the dog days of summer.
Heat is actually a really big killer.
While Dr. Deb Zoran of Texas A&M University says it's critical dogs stay active year-round.
That helps their mental health, that helps their physical health.
In the summer, she recommends exercising them early or later in the day. This can prevent their fur from absorbing heat from direct sunlight and keep the bottoms of their paws from burning.
100-degree heat's going to make a surface that's black, like asphalt surface, blacktop, going to make it 120 degrees.
But hot air is just as dangerous as scorching pavement.
Most of their cooling is through panting. And so when they're panting and breathing in hot air, they're not cooling as efficiently.
Because dogs pant naturally, it's important to watch if your pet is going into overdrive.
Their tongue will get longer out of their mouths. The next sign for you is that tongue starts to widen, trying to not only move more air across it and remove more heat out.
Owners who see these signs are advised to get their dogs inside a cool location fast.
Cooling and running water over their hair is not that helpful. It's over the hairless areas on their undersides, it's in their mouth through drinking, and it's cool air.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later volunteers in both Kentucky and Missouri rush in to help neighbors sort through their belongings and deal with tornado damage before the next round of storms.
It definitely turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. We had sunshine, temperatures fantastic. Main things we really want to look at over the next few days are thunderstorm chances, the nice temperatures, and of course the holiday weekend. Let's jump about 24 hours forward. We're going to start with thunderstorm chances returning Wednesday night. So here's 10 p.m. You can see they're very scattered. So it's not widespread thunderstorms like what we had yesterday, but the thunderstorms that do pop up, they could be a little beefier, maybe some strong ones, maybe a low-grade severe thunderstorm or two. If that would occur, the main threat would be some large hail. But of course, we're going to keep our eyes on this. So here's 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow night, and then pretty much gone. We may have a few showers to start Thursday, and then it looks pretty good as we go through the daytime hours on Thursday. It's been kind of windy today. We still have these westerly winds kind of kicking in. These will diminish, especially after midnight for us tonight. Temperatures get kind of chilly, eventually down to 52. 7 a.m., 54, quick rebound back to about 65 by 10 a.m. Our storm system that gave us the severe weather is racing off toward the east, Kentucky, Tennessee. More tornadic activity once again for them today. We look good, but there's a weak little wave across Wyoming. That's what will fire off a few scattered thunderstorms for us tomorrow night. Let me walk you through time. We're going to go into Wednesday morning. Kind of chilly, 50 to about 52 degrees. Through the morning, plenty of sunshine. We'll stop at your noon hour, already into lower 70s. Once we get into the afternoon, high temperatures about 5 p.m., 76, 77, 78 degrees. Then, of course, we get those scattered thunderstorms across the region tomorrow night. Pretty much out of here Thursday morning. Let me take you to Thursday afternoon. A northerly wind, so kind of cool. Once again, those temperatures only into lower 70s. Day planner on your Wednesday, 9 a.m., 62, 73 by 1, 75 by 5 p.m. Overall, pretty nice day. We're going to have plenty of sunshine. This weekend, of course, is a holiday weekend, but we do have a severe threat which is going to return. The threat still several days away, but we want to at least put it in the back of our mind. But in the yellow, this is where we could get some severe weather across the region. In fact, if we get a little closer look at it, let's go into Friday. Thunderstorms developing to our west. These are going to roll in Friday night into Saturday morning. Some of those could be strong, most likely not severe. Saturday afternoon front draped in our northern counties. Anything that develops south of the front could be strong to severe. I think they're going to be scattered. I do not expect a washout. However, on Sunday, we do it again with some strong to possibly severe thunderstorms. So a lot to watch as we head toward the holiday weekend. All right, Wednesday, 77, 72 Thursday, 75 on Friday. We do pop into the lower 80s as we go into Saturday and Sunday. Actually, Memorial Day, we cool down a bit. High temp of only 70.
Well, thanks, Doug. Thousands of people in the south and central U.S. are bracing for another round of severe weather, and many are already struggling to bounce back after devastating storms left widespread destruction over the weekend. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has the story.
I want to leave my house, but I got to do what I got to do. I mean, it's probably best for everybody here.
A race against time in Laurel County, Kentucky. Neighborhoods devastated by weekend tornadoes are now at risk of even more damage.
That storm that is coming in tonight is incredibly dangerous. But in the very least, we are going to see 60-mile-per-hour winds. It is simply unsafe to be around that much debris with this level of wind.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear telling residents to evacuate the area by 6 p.m. local time, saying anyone who stays is putting themselves severely at risk.
I've been here for 3 days now. From daylight to dark, we leave after it gets dark and haul it and put it places and just trying to get it moved out so you can salvage whatever you can.
His order came as residents spent another day cleaning up after days of deadly tornadoes, thunderstorms, and heavy rain. The extreme weather killing more than 24 people and impacting thousands from Texas to Virginia.
I found me some shoes today and some more pictures and just memories because they say more storms are coming, so we've got to get things cleaned up before more storms get in here.
While volunteers are helping in the cleanup process, officials warn residents to stay alert. Incoming storms could bring damaging winds, hail, tornadoes, and possible flash flooding. Governor Beshear also telling folks in Kentucky not to rely on NOAA radios for weather alerts, as the system will be down for the next several days as part of scheduled system updates. In London, Kentucky, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
Well, coming up, power line safety.
Following severe storms, crews have been responding to reports of down power lines. I'm Samantha Walker, and coming up, I'll have what you need to know to be safe if you come across one.
Pittsburgh Fire Department continued responding today to reports of downed power lines after yesterday's severe storms. Thousands in Crawford County lost power. KOAM's Samantha Walker explains how to stay safe if you encounter downed lines.
Even if they don't look that scary, a down power line can be very dangerous.
A very iffy thing to try to approach because you never know if they are energized or not. And even if they're not energized, the fuse can reconnect and they could become energized.
Chief Taylor Turney with the Pittsburgh Fire Department says a good rule of thumb is to stay at least 25 feet away from a down line, about the length of a school bus.
Stay away and either call your utility company or call 911 and have fire or police or somebody come out so that they can pass it on to the utility.
He adds that if you see someone who's come in contact with a line, you shouldn't try to rescue them yourself.
That arises the issue of possibly becoming a victim yourself. So the best thing to do if somebody is in contact with it or has been affected by a down power line is call 911 and we will get the resources there as soon as possible.
When severe storms hit Pittsburgh, delivery driver Dustin Wetzel was caught as two power lines came down around him.
It was blowing like crazy here at the golf course and I came around and I passed this pole and it wasn't coming down, but this next one back here was like 100 foot in front of me and I saw it come down, so I stopped and the lines just fell over the top of me. I've got one little scratch on my car and that's it.
A power line hit one of Wetzel's side mirrors, so he waited for Evergy to come cut the power. Chief Turney says that's exactly what you should do.
You want to stay in your vehicle if you have a line down that is in contact with it, whether you're in a big truck that hooked the line and pulled it off the pole or whether one has come down on top of your vehicle. You want to stay in place. Shut the ignition off, call 911, and we will get you taken care of.
Now, Evergy says if a power line hits your car while you're in it, you should stay put. But what if there's immediate danger, like a fire? Here's the tips that Evergy gives. They say first, don't step out of the vehicle, and don't touch the vehicle and the ground at the same time. They say you should jump out of the vehicle, landing with both feet on the ground and close together. From there, you'll want to shuffle, making short steps on the ground with your feet not lifting up. Or, Chief Turney says you can also bunny hop away to safety.
Be very mindful of where utility lines and power lines are, and when you're setting up a ladder or working with a chainsaw or a pole saw, make sure that you're setting up well away from any of the utility lines.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Chief Turney says if you see a downed line, you should report it to Evergy or local authorities. He says never assume someone has already called it in. Up next, officers lace up for a good cause, how a local torch run is helping light the way to the Special Olympics Summer Games. Area police agencies joined forces today in Webb City for a good cause. Officers took part in the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics. All across different regions of the state, the torch is moving towards Kirksville, Missouri, where this year's games will be held. The 2025 State Summer Games will be held at Truman State University from May 30th to June 1st in Kirksville.
Most of the people that are running have been doing it several years in a row because, I mean, it's very rewarding just to get out and to be able to show that support and to show that our organization, our city stands behind Special Olympics.
This year's games will feature 4 sports: volleyball, track and field, powerlifting, and swimming. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. President Trump's massive tax and spending bill faces pushback from both sides, why the stakes are rising ahead of a crucial vote. And a New Jersey Congresswoman faces federal charges following a confrontation at an ICE detention center.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. President Trump visited Capitol Hill today, trying to rally Republicans to pass his massive budget package filled with campaign promises. And some lawmakers have been holding out, threatening the success of the so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
I'm not losing patience. We're ahead of schedule. Anybody that told you that is a liar.
President Trump says his big, beautiful bill is still on track after a visit to Capitol Hill, even with some Republicans saying they'll vote no. More than 1,000 pages long, the package is loaded with campaign promises. It includes tax breaks from Trump's first term, removing taxes on tips, and creating a bigger child tax credit, among others.
I said we got to tie up a few loose ends, and I know where the loose ends are.
With a narrow Republican majority, some GOP House members still threaten to stall the legislation over a variety of issues. Some don't think it goes far enough to cut spending. Others want to see the cap on state and local tax deductions increase.
I made very clear when I ran for office back in 22 that I would never support a tax bill that does not adequately lift the cap on salt.
One watchdog group estimates the bill will add trillions to the national debt, but those backing it say savings will come after the policies are in place for a few years. Democrats have been united against the bill, saying it will result in millions of people losing health insurance because of proposed cuts to Medicaid.
House Republicans are working to ram through their agenda to kick millions of Americans off of health insurance and to take food assistance from families.
Speaker Johnson says he'd like to see a vote on the bill by Thursday morning. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, more than 250 people have been arrested in a Florida undercover sting targeting prostitution, child exploitation, and illegal immigration. Authorities say Operation Fool Around and Find Out exposed a range of suspects, including a former NFL player and an active duty sailor. Sheriff Grady Judd confirmed 4 human trafficking victims were rescued as part of the operation. The sheriff's office says some of those arrested had entered the U.S. illegally and refused recent offers to voluntarily leave. Well, controversy is growing surrounding a group of Democratic lawmakers' recent visit to an immigration and customs enforcement detention center. This after the Department of Justice charged a New Jersey Congresswoman with assaulting officers. Now, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary says no one is above the law as Democratic leaders rally behind their colleague. Fox News' Ted Linder reports.
New updates following a chaotic exchange outside a New Jersey ICE detention center earlier this month. On Monday, the Department of Justice charged New Jersey Democratic Representative LaMonica McIver for assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement back on May 9th. McIver, seen in a red blazer, was accompanying lawmakers, including Newark Mayor Ras Baraka, who demanded a tour to inspect the detention facility that's housing migrants. Mayor Baraka was arrested for trespassing, a federal charge that was just dropped. But Alina Habba, acting U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey, says video evidence, including body camera footage that hasn't been made public yet, allegedly shows McIver, quote, assaulting several police and federal agents. In a joint statement, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and other Democratic leadership stated McIver was fulfilling her responsibility to conduct oversight of the executive branch. They claim McIver and other lawmakers, quote, didn't assault anyone, but were themselves aggressively mistreated by illegally masked individuals. McIver has denied any wrongdoing, saying the charges are, quote, meant to criminalize and deter legislative oversight, adding she looks forward to the truth being laid out clearly in court. Representative McIver must turn herself in as soon as possible. Ted Linder, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, does it feel like you've won the jackpot when you find a squeaky clean public restroom during a long drive? Well, there's a new list out lifting the lid on the cleanest toilets.
It definitely turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. We had sunshine, temperatures fantastic. Main things we really want to look at over the next few days are thunderstorm chances, the nice temperatures, and of course the holiday weekend. Let's jump about 24 hours forward. We're going to start with thunderstorm chances returning Wednesday night. So here's 10 p.m. You can see they're very scattered. So it's not widespread thunderstorms like what we had yesterday, but the thunderstorms that do pop up, they could be a little beefier, maybe some strong ones, maybe a low-grade severe thunderstorm or two. If that would occur, the main threat would be some large hail. But of course, we're going to keep our eyes on this. So here's 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow night, and then pretty much gone. We may have a few showers to start Thursday, and then it looks pretty good as we go through the daytime hours on Thursday. It's been kind of windy today. We still have these westerly winds kind of kicking in. These will diminish, especially after midnight for us tonight. Temperatures get kind of chilly, eventually down to 52. 7 a.m., 54, quick rebound back to about 65 by 10 a.m. Our storm system that gave us the severe weather is racing off toward the east, Kentucky, Tennessee. More tornadic activity once again for them today. We look good, but there's a weak little wave across Wyoming. That's what will fire off a few scattered thunderstorms for us tomorrow night. Let me walk you through time. We're going to go into Wednesday morning. Kind of chilly, 50 to about 52 degrees. Through the morning, plenty of sunshine. We'll stop at your noon hour, already into lower 70s. Once we get into the afternoon, high temperatures about 5 p.m., 76, 77, 78 degrees. Then, of course, we get those scattered thunderstorms across the region tomorrow night. Pretty much out of here Thursday morning. Let me take you to Thursday afternoon. A northerly wind, so kind of cool. Once again, those temperatures only into lower 70s. Day planner on your Wednesday, 9 a.m., 62, 73 by 1, 75 by 5 p.m. Overall, pretty nice day. We're going to have plenty of sunshine. This weekend, of course, is a holiday weekend, but we do have a severe threat which is going to return. The threat still several days away, but we want to at least put it in the back of our mind. But in the yellow, this is where we could get some severe weather across the region. In fact, if we get a little closer look at it, let's go into Friday. Thunderstorms developing to our west. These are going to roll in Friday night into Saturday morning. Some of those could be strong, most likely not severe. Saturday afternoon front draped in our northern counties. Anything that develops south of the front could be strong to severe. I think they're going to be scattered. I do not expect a washout. However, on Sunday, we do it again with some strong to possibly severe thunderstorms. So a lot to watch as we head toward the holiday weekend. All right, Wednesday, 77, 72 Thursday, 75 on Friday. We do pop into the lower 80s as we go into Saturday and Sunday. Actually, Memorial Day, we cool down a bit. High temp of only 70.
All right. Well, thanks, Doug. Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's called the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, soon you'll be able to take a trip back in time thanks to your phone and a tap of your finger. The Fort Scott National Historic Site will pilot the first ever augmented reality experience. Through the NPS app, visitors can experience digitally reconstructed historic structures in the national park. The app is available for iPhone and Android. Well, still ahead, it's a busy day of high school baseball and softball across the 4 states. John Dales has all the highlights and final scores from the playoff action. That's up next in sports.
Several of our local high school baseball and softball teams in southeast Kansas have the chance this evening to punch their ticket to state as regional tournaments take place all across the area. We've got a regional championship game between a couple CNC rivals, Frontenac and Columbus. Winner is headed to state. The Titans strike first, but the Raiders answer right back. And in the bottom of the first, runners on second and third. Wild pitch goes all the way to the backstop. Jack Haypart ties it at 1, and then the throw gets away, so Brock Weimers comes all the way around to score from second. Frontenac up 2-1. That score holds into the top of the third when Coffeyville signee Jack Valela hammers this pitch to deep left. That one hops the fence. He's got a stand-up double and advances the tying run to third. Next batter, Reese Ponce, and he smokes it back up the middle and through for an RBI single. That swing of the bat ties it at 2. Later in the inning, Titans not finished. The freshman phenom, Cash Smith, shoots it into right center for another RBI single. Titans score 3 runs in the 4th to take the lead, and they don't look back. They're headed to the 3A state tournament. And Humboldt High School baseball is headed to the 3A state tournament as well. The Cubs win 2 games this afternoon. First one was tight, a one-run victory over Iola in extras in the semifinal. Then a couple hours later, Humboldt takes down Burlington 6-4 in the regional championship to earn a trip to state. And high school softball regionals continue this afternoon as well. That includes Pittsburgh, who's the #1 overall seed in Class 5A's East Region. No surprise here, the Purple Dragons are headed to the state tournament. They crushed Turner 11-0 in the regional championship. And yeah, that comes after beating Washington 32-0 in the semifinals. Fort Scott High School softball is headed to the state as well. Lady Tigers earn a spot in the 4A state tournament after beating Labette County 13-0 in the regional semis, then taking down Topeka Hayden 6-4 in the championship game. Moving over to Missouri, defending Class 2 state champion Diamond is our only local softball team remaining in the playoffs. And tonight, the Lady Wildcats punch their ticket to head back to Springfield for the state semifinals. They're one of the last 4 teams standing in Class 2 after an 8-5 road victory over Clever in the quarterfinals, and Diamond's state title defense continues. Now in Missouri high school baseball, dozens of our local teams remain alive. Some of those district tournaments have actually yet to begin. That's for those larger classes. In Class 2, New Heights Christian Academy goes on the road and earns a victory tonight as well. The Cougars take down Purdy 9-8, and they are district champions. They'll advance to sectionals on Monday against Miller, who wins the District 11 title this evening. Now to the Class 3 District 12 tournament. Taking place in Stockton, Lamar Baseball cruises to an 8-2 victory over Warsaw in the semifinals this evening. Tigers will face Stockton in the championship tomorrow. Class 4 District 10 tournament semifinals tonight as well over in Stratford. The 4 seed Mount Vernon takes down the #1 seeded Indians of Stratford. Final score 7-3. Mount Vernon faces the winner of Clinton and Nevada in the district title game tomorrow night. And staying in Class 4, the District 11 semifinals taking place tonight. Those are over in Monette. Aurora beats Monette 7-3. And Seneca, top seed, shuts out East Newton 8-0. Hound Dogs and Indians will face each other for the district championship tomorrow. Of all those scores and everything, I think the one that sticks out to me is Pittsburgh softball. The 2 games that they played today, they won by a combined score of 43-0. And these are playoff games.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of runs, for
It
sure.
is. Yeah.
Good job, team. All right, we're back with more news after this. When you're traveling and nature calls, you know some bathrooms are not as clean as others. But now there's a new list out lifting the lid on where you can find pit stop perfection in New York State. Fox's Jody Goldberg takes us there.
Word is trickling out.
Bathroom's great. I've used it a few times.
Facility's nice and clean.
There's not debris all over the floor.
The lavish lavatory inside the Long Island Welcome Center in Dix Hills has landed on the nation's nicest list, according to an American River Wellness survey of 3,000 long-haul drivers and day trippers.
For anybody that's on a long road trip needs to have a good place to freshen up, right?
The top-tier toilet stop right off the Long Island Expressway in Suffolk County welcomes tens of thousands of visitors each month. It's #1 in the state on the list of best public restrooms and number 11 in the country, flushing the competition.
I am not one that uses public restrooms unless it's an emergency, and this one I actually stopped to come here.
I'm told the staff rotates in and out of the bathrooms all day, making sure the toilets are clean, everything's sanitized, and look at the sink. It's spotless.
We have people here 24 hours, 7 days a week. I literally have 3 people, all shifts.
The survey, based on cleanliness, availability of amenities, safety, and rest stop atmosphere, was no surprise to regulars. The Welcome Center also has a shop that sells locally sourced snacks and specialty items.
I travel from Hunter to Montauk on a regular basis, and this is one of my stops.
This is the way they should all be.
As a mom of 2 girls, it is a pristine place to potty on your next pit stop. In Dix Hills, Long Island, Jody Goldberg.
Well, a little closer to home, the Bowl Plaza in Lucas, Kansas features amazing mosaic artwork. So if you're looking for a beautiful public restroom, it's the perfect pit stop. Well, Ralph Fiennes joins the Hunger Games prequel, and Alan Jackson announces his finale show. Those stories and more up next. in Hollywood Nation. A country music legend plans his final bow, and an iconic kids show makes a move. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all the latest in today's Hollywood Nation.
I can't pretend it's okay.
Jackson says farewell. Eilish extends her road trip, and Sesame Street finds a new home in the Hollywood Nation.
Whoa.
Sunny days are here again and headed to Netflix. The streamer rescued Sesame Street, announcing it picked up the iconic children's show 6 months after Warner Brothers Discovery ended its deal. New episodes will stream on the platform as well as air on PBS Kids starting in late 2025. Billie Eilish is hitting the road even harder. The Grammy-winning singer is extending her Hit Me Hard and Soft tour with 23 additional arena dates. She will head to Japan for 2 nights in August, then back to the U.S. this fall with stops in cities including Miami, Austin, and New Orleans. The tour wraps up in San Francisco November 23rd. Ray Fiennes will rule as the new president Coriolanus Snow. The Oscar nominee will play the ruthless Pan Am dictator in The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. He follows late actor Donald Sutherland, who played the character in the first 4 films of the series. The prequel arrives in theaters November 20th, 2026. Alan Jackson is hanging up his touring boots. During his concert in Milwaukee, May 17th, the country music legend revealed to the audience it was his last road show. The 66-year-old singer, who has been battling Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, shared he's saving one final show for next summer in Nashville, ending his touring career where it all started. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a Pomeranian dog taking the red carpet. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.